Okay, now this video is just a recap for the previous one, and in this lesson I will show how error handling is working. Actually, we have errors here. Let's simulate some error. Let's imagine that we made a mistake here. Instead of main, we wrote main, and then just try to run this program. And as you see, we have some errors here, and it's a diagnostic message that helps. Sometimes it helps, sometimes not very helpful, but if you have some experience, you'll understand what is going on and how to solve this problem. So we have two types of message from compiler. It is a warning and it is an error. So an error is a critical thing, and if you have an error, your program will simply not compile. Warnings are something that allows you to compile, but you should be careful about warnings. Sometimes it is a diagnostic that that something might go wrong in future, right? So I mentioned here a compiler, but I never talk about compiler in previous lecture, right? So I will try to explain what's the difference between compiler, language, standard, and so on, how they relate to each other. So C++ or C language, right? It is a language, and as a language, it is standardized, and we have different compilers, a special system software which can understand some C language, right? It's like people who understand, for example, some language, it's the same. So for example, Visual Studio has a compiler embedded into integrated development environment, and is capable to understand valid C code. So also we have different compilers here. In fact, there are three major compilers. It is Visual Studio compiler, Visual C compiler to be correct, GCC, and Intel compiler. So we have some vendors, yeah. So companies who try to implement a system software which will that will able to understand C programming language. So this is a particular case. This is a case of when we use Visual C compiler. Okay, so let's try some other errors, some other mistakes, and see what will happen. For example, also I wanted to say about comments. Let's first talk about comments. So this part of the code is called a line comment, one line comment. It's something that is ignored by compiler. So if we delete this one or return it back, so effectively it doesn't affect to a compiler. Your code will be the same, absolutely the same. So you may ask, when then we need these comments. Mainly we need comments to communicate between each other. When we write code, we want to mention some specific behavior, or when we have something unclear, we want to clarify that inside of our code. So we can embed some comments to our software, to our program. there are two types of comments, and also we have a multi-line comments. It goes like this. Here is multi-line comment. So you can use both of them. Actually, this one, multi-line one, was first introduced it in C, and this type of comment was introduced to C later on, and as I know, it was migrated from C++. But you can use both of them. Use this one if you have multiple lines, and this one if you need just to make some quick short description of what you are going to do. But remember that that good code do not need comments, right? And use them appropriately. So if you when you use comments, try to explain things if it really needs to be explained. Okay, and one thing I wanted to mention here, that again about string, and I want to try a line here. If we write here a bare new line, what will happen? Let's try. So as we see, if we write here a bare line, assuming that we want to write an extra line after hello world when we output it to terminal. So if we want to accomplish this task, this way is not suitable, because string shouldn't be broken. So hopefully this time you'll understand it better. So the string must be in one line, and we can use escape symbol, which is a combination of backward slash and letter n. So let's try to run this program and see what will happen. Yeah, as you can see, we have an extra we have a new line. We have a gap between hello worlds and the rest of the output from operating system. Actually, this output in the next 4 lines is not directly related to our program, but the operating system decided to write this information here. And the gap we see here is because this part of text is also prefixed with new line. So we have kind of 2 new lines. The first new line is from after the symbol goes here, and the second line, which is prefix for this extra message from operating system, comes here. So if we want to add here a new line, we use just a combination of these symbols. Okay. Also, we have a thing like let's try this one. It is just breaking a line when we want to just let us see. It will be easier to understand it. Okay, so if we want to embed just break line, we can break it this way. Actually, we're breaking here a string, but it will not affect in terminal, because we are breaking it in source code, and source code is not much related when it comes to string literals. Yeah, so this example will work as you see in the screen. Okay, so we can try another escape symbol. This escape symbol will prefix to our message, to our output, tab symbol. As you can see, we have here huge tab, and actually we can embed a tab here without any problems, and it will work as well. Okay, so for tab symbol, we can use either bare tab symbol, or we can use a special combination escape symbols. But for new line sequence, it works only this way. So if we write here a combination of 3 new lines, so we'll see a gap between hello world and operating system message, 3 lines between them. So we can put whatever we want to display, whatever we want to display. So it was all I want to mention here, and hopefully if you have any question you can ask here in comments, and someone will answer, the community will answer, or I will answer. So don't be afraid of some errors. If you have some error, try to investigate what's going wrong, and hopefully you will find your mistake.